All praises to the Most High. This is actually part 5 in regards to exterminate all the brutes. Please take a moment to watch 1, 2, 3, 4 prior if you haven't. But if you decide to start here, it's fine. I just wanted to bring this forward because this actually something that I feel led to share, and it has a lot of great information within this. So I'm not sure if it will be a part 6, but I will also put it in a playlist in order as well as time permits. So praises to the Most High for this truth, because it's time for us to focus and bring forth the real history, not his story, but the real history. So, a great job of this director, filmmaker, and I'm excited to actually see, because this is only just some snippets of it, but I'm not sure when it's going to come out, but I'll give more details, or you may actually go to this as well and listen to the whole thing in its fullness. Okay.
Outside the history of the Enlightenment and the ideas of humanism and universalism on which it apparently stands. But your film seems to suggest, even as this is raised as a question, your film suggests that other conclusions could be drawn. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, it's nothing new. In fact, there are many scholars that have worked on that specific question for the last 50, 60 years. And of course, there is resistance to say that the Holocaust was a very special moment in the life of Western civilization. But it's not. It's a continuity of a will of genocide, a will of eliminate people that are deemed inferior. The structure of genocide are always the same. You know, the person who invented the word genocide, Raphael Lemkin, in 1943, we went to the New York Public Library, and in that library, in his file, there is a list of something around 42 previous genocide before the Holocaust. And he included in it, of course, the genocide against the Native American people. So, trying to make any type of genocide special, I think, is a really not correct way of seeing the history of humankind. They all copied from each other. They are all, of course, specific. You can't directly, compare the genocide in Rwanda with the genocide in Cambodia and with the Holocaust. They have different, ideological reason. They have different historical reason. They have different people involved. But as a structure, as a system of genocide, they all obey the same pattern of first, pinning down a special category of person, of people, and then start saying that we are superior to them, and they are insect. And as soon as you come to the point where they are animal, or they are savages, or they are insect, you are allowed to kill them. And that's the excuse that was always needed for every imperialist, for every conqueror, in order to eliminate whoever was in the land they wanted to conquer. So it's similar. It has been similar throughout the history of humankind. And it became more specific within the concept of the capitalistic society, because then it was also linked to profit. It was also linked to make bigger territories in order to exploit large communities. So I have had that discussion many years back ago, including in Germany. But today, I think we should move past that. That what I would call the confrontation between who got the biggest pain. Do we put slavery confronted to the Holocaust or the Rwandese pain? It's not about that. We are all from the same human family. It's not about who have suffered the more. I think we have to acknowledge every piece of history that happened on this planet, and we have to give responses to them, and we have to explain why they happen, and because it's the only way that eventually we can prevent them to happen again and again.
And we want to talk more about that after this last clip from the series, Exterminate All the Brutes.
Trading human beings. What sick mind thought of this first? Brought by force and pushed to death. Slavery, or the trade, as they refer to it euphemistically. A state-sponsored genocide. What does this say about a civilized world?
So, if you could talk more about what this does say, and going back to the beginning, talking about genocide, the term coined by Raphael Lemkin, colonization, as well as civilization, and how you find hope today in the discussions, if this is all acknowledged, though you're saying just acknowledging this is not enough.
Yes, of course, but acknowledging it's a big step, and that's what I wanted to say before. Is that for even for me as a filmmaker, telling that story, it took a lot of thinking in order to tell a story where for the first time you tell the story of the genocide of Native Americans, and then you tell the story of slavery, and then you tell also the one of the major extermination story, which is the Holocaust. And for the first time, I think, at least on film, you can see the connections between them. And for me, it's a huge step. It's taking all those atrocities in a different context, and for me, it can only be the beginning of a wider conversation. Instead of each part keeping their own malheur, they're keeping their own death, their own pain, and sometimes being used against each other. And that's a device that have been used for many, many years. And for me, the film is also a step to break